is on Tuesday. And some of the big news events that we had here this week were our core PCE price index. And what the core PCE essentially told us was that the Federal Reserve really has no reason to not hike interest rates. And that's what's really amazing is that 6 weeks ago, there were 1 to 2 rate cuts being priced into the market. And now there are 1 to 2 hikes being priced into the market. And that is a huge shift in sentiment. We also had SpaceX that went off here. It's the biggest IPO in history on a company that hasn't made any money. Lost $5 billion last year. This moment in time and price is one of the most complacent in history. And anyone that is aware of chart patterns and understands this pattern, this what we call it an M for murder up here. It's a brand new contract that came available. We had the brand new VIX contract. This green line is here is where the new contract starts. Look at that September contract. And we were talking about this at the beginning of this contract and on that Monday, Tuesday that we were running into this previous high. Who in their right mind would, at a new account balance high, a new net worth high in a brand new contract, and a dip into a high before, an FOMC where the Federal Reserve is going to have to start hiking rates. And prior to this rally up into resistance, we had 8 members told us how they were going to vote, that they were going to stay higher for longer or start hiking interest rates. So, I've named this low here, the April Fool's low. It might be a little bit early to say that, but we don't know where our support levels are. And that is a very important thing to accept. When we're in a rally, when we had this 1,500 point rally, there's no benefit in trying to pick tops. You trade the longs until they fail, right? And they broke. We started breaking trend. We broke our series of extension long levels up here, and we made a double top. Sometimes we trend right away from resistance. Sometimes we make double tops. This is an example of a double top. And right now, just like we didn't know how far we could rally, we don't know how far we can sell off. And there's an unknown there. And Wall Street also accepts that unknown. And that's the problem. The problem is the unknown. And as we went into the beginning of this week, we had our traditional short setups. We had our full retracement shorts from highs. And now we have a next measured move in our series. And the VIX is making new highs of the week inside of our pullbacks. By the way, the VIX has been incredible this week. First in the front run of our 4-tick long from old contract lows to highs, and then to the stick save of our line in the sand coming out of yesterday morning. Then in the pullbacks that we had going into our overnight time frame, and then into the pullbacks that we had this morning. So, Wall Street has had an opportunity to hedge themselves going into the unknown of the September FOMC statement, where this stream continues at emoneyaddict.com. The link is in the description. Join me there for tools and resources for learning measured move trading. I wrote the book on the measured move. Check out the hundreds of others that have learned trading plan development, pattern recognition, money management, and trading discipline with me to become the best, most confident trader that you can be.